So in this video, I'm going to go over one of our recent case studies. So this case study specifically is the first 90 days that the client started working with us. So this particular client is a local spa, and they're very specialized in what they do. And so we came on, and they had a few goals that I'm going to go over. So they are in a large city with a lot of competition, but like I said, they do have a really great niche and they have a higher level of service. So they're a more unique kind of spa. And she had a goal to grow her signature massage service, as well as overall revenue, of course. But there was a specific service that we wanted to focus on as well that's going to be a higher margin. So we wanted to look at, which service has the higher margin that she does have capacity for. And so we wanted to focus on those, but she had been struggling to make some significant progress in increasing those bookings. She has been around for quite some time, so she's been in business for several years. I think coming up close to a decade when they came on with us. And so this was just a place where they really struggled to gain traction over time. So the biggest challenges is obviously being in a large city, even though she was very niche and high level or is, it's still a lot of competition even within that niche. So it was really important that we helped her stand out and also, of course, more exposure, but to still be differentiated from the competition and make sure that we are highlighting and putting at the forefront these specific things that are making her stand out and demonstrate why her company is different. She had ran successful ads before, but she didn't do a ton of testing. So her ad account it did have some data, but it didn't have a lot of data to actually be able to scale it and figure out what was working and what didn't. So it was just the way that the campaigns were structured. It was hard to really tell what made the campaigns work, like what was the biggest driving factor. And so they weren't broken up with different variables where we could really dive deeper into the data. And also, over time, the spending, it wasn't resulting in more sales. So that means that the ads are performing well, but sometimes when you just simply increase ad spend, it doesn't actually increase more sales. It just lowers the return on ad spend. So that's a place where you really want to get an expert in there to figure out what is the best next move, because there are a million different reasons why that could be. So it's really important to have some support there, because just increasing ad spend does not necessarily mean that you're going to increase the number of sales based on that ad spend. So what we did is the first thing we did, of course, as we always do, is we did a full account audit to see what data we can pull from the account to see what worked in the past. We did also look at her profit margins to figure out what our acquisition cost needs to be. So we want a goal cost per booking, and sometimes we will phase out those KPIs where we have specific ones that we're going to focus on this month versus next month or quarters at times. And also we will phase out the specific levels of targets that we want to hit. And so that we can get closer and closer to that really specific cost per booking. So making sure that we are making progress towards that. We started creating campaigns for her highest ticket service, again, because that was a goal of hers, but she had not she had not been successful at running ads for that service. And she also had an in-home service that she struggled to gain momentum with as well. So we created campaigns for that. We did do a series of testing, as always. We're always testing, but this was a more where a lot of the budget was going to testing, and in different phases, from targeting to creatives and messaging, and even some location specific things that we did. And then within 2 months, we found what messaging was working best, and we were able to begin scaling that. And so we had a lot more data in that first 2 months than her account really had ever had because of the way that we structure things and the step by steps of what step by step that we carried out. And so doing things in a more like formulaic way allowed us to get the data that we needed. And we were able to actually scale the account where the more money you put in, the more money you get out, rather than just the returns getting lower and lower. And you're just putting more money in and not necessarily getting the same return on those number of sales. So we did that audit and strategy. We did, like I said, create that data so that we can actually scale the campaign. And so we did also looking at the data and figuring out what our cost per booking needed to be. It needed to be under $80 to ensure that it was profitable. So we launched those campaigns, and we did promote the signature or the specific service, the higher ticket one, which is the fertility massages and in-home services. So these are two key areas that the spa wanted to grow. And we were able to also, again, we had to differentiate. So this was huge because this client is in a massive city. So we had to make sure that we were really standing out to get ahead of that competition. Also, the pricing for the services is not very low. So it's really important that we show the value and a lot of social proof and things like that to be able to capture some of the market in that higher ticket place, because it's the more higher ticket you are, the smaller percentage of the population that's willing to pay high ticket for that kind of service. So we had to do a lot of that, especially in the noisy online space. And so we also helped design new landing pages. We wanted to focus on those conversion rates because we did notice that when we were doing the overall account audit, that was also a metric. It wasn't like the main one, but it was one that I saw that would be significant if we were able to improve it. So over the 3 months, we did implement all of these things. We did do that phase testing strategy and refined the targeting and then the messaging, which was really focused on standing out, and also figuring out which messaging is actually encouraging people to take action, and also just helping the algorithm find our people within those targeted audiences. And then we were able to use performance data for scaling that. We did do as always, we do more advanced reporting. So all of our reporting that we were also able to add on with this client was we could prove to be as accurate as from the data that we had. And by the end of the process, we did find the most effective messaging and did scale that out. So let's go over the results of those. So in the first 90 days, we increased that highest ticket offer by 73%. So that's obviously huge. This client has been in business, like I said, for almost a decade at this point. So this isn't a result of a brand new business that obviously the results are like crazy high percentages. This is a legit, like from, an established offer for an established business, increase that highest ticket offer by 73%. The in-home offer, which was also another focus, but not necessarily the main one, we did increase that by 53%. And that was a place that was struggling to gain traction as well, because lots of a little more competition in that space actually. And then overall spa revenue went up by 25% because of these two these two focuses there, as well as just overall lift in other services. And we did keep all of the bookings under target acquisition cost over that 90 days. So this was a great success in these first 90 days. And the things that made our work different, because this client had worked with other agencies in the past, is that one of the things is that we do use advanced third-party reporting systems. So which capture first-party data. So we capture our own data, and we're able to have a more reliable view of our campaign performance. This allows us to make better decisions with optimizing the campaigns. And it's also backed by actual sales data. So if we say that, 10 sales came from this campaign or this ad creative, we can tell you which sales, the specific people that we are referring to. And so we find that to be very, very important, whereas Meta's reporting is not always perfectly accurate. So, taking that actual data that we are able to use and count on, couple that with our extensive experience in media buying and creative strategy, we were able to define those specific KPIs and figure out a plan that is structured in a way where we're actually making progress and not just either seamless, like mindlessly putting up campaigns, which I've seen in the past. So some agencies will just, like, what do you want to run ads to? And they just put together a campaign. But there's a lot more to media buying and social ads than just putting up the campaign. So you can hire someone, like a virtual assistant. Maybe even some of them can, simply put together some ad copy and things and put up a campaign. But there's a lot more to it than that. We have to make sure that this is all aligning with the goal and that we are doing the right media buying strategies to reach that goal in the right order, and also tracking everything properly so that we can make sure that what we're doing is actually moving the needle. So hiring us on, we are able to show our actual impact rather than it just kind of being a shoulder shrug kind of situation where, well, we're running the ads and we're doing that for you, and that's what you're paying us for. We're actually making sure that you are reaching the overall goals that you have for the company. And so that reliable data, obviously super, super important. Like I said, just to recap of what I just said, a custom strategy is based on those specific goals, and being able to put together a roadmap that is phased and prioritized in a way where we're actually able to meet those within specific timelines. And then also, we are certified and have a lot, like, endless experience with case studies and different results. So this is just one example of one that we have. So this, I won't read it for you, but this here is a testimonial that we have for this client specifically. And so she points out feeling that our services are high touch, and communication is excellent. That's something that I have always made sure that we stay on that quality. And anytime that we are, if we're feeling like we have just a lot of on our plates, then we hire and we train and we do all of that before things get too chaotic because we want to make sure that we are high touch, and our results obviously are going to make a huge impact for the businesses that hire us. So if this seems interesting to you, if this seems like something that you would want to look into to see if it makes sense for us to look at your account, feel free to book a call with us. You can do that at 311advertising.com, and we can connect and I can give you some insights on what I think the best direction is for your company, if we seem like a good fit, or if you have or if you are running ads, I can offer any insights to why those may or may not be working. And so I look forward to hearing from you. And this, again, is just one example of many that we have of happy clients with happy results.